My dad passed away when I, a female teen, was 3. We lived in a house my grandparents owned and they agreed to let my mom and I live there rent-free. Over the years, whenever my mom dated, I tried to spend the night she had guests over at my grandparents' house. When I was 10, my grandfather renovated the basement to make me my own kind of apartment. I have my own bathroom, kitchen and living room to go with my bedroom. My mom met a guy last year and it got serious. He moved in with his 2 kids, which is fine by me. My mom deserves to be happy and have someone in her life. There are 3 bedrooms upstairs, so it's perfect. 1 for them and 1 for each of his kids. Everything was going according to plan until the kids asked where I was staying. I said I lived in the basement. They made a joke about me living in my mom's basement. I invited them down to play Mario Kart to be sociable and show off, if I'm completely honest. My uncle gave me a couch and my dad's old lazy boy was in the living room. The recliner is only for me and all my friends know that. The kids started complaining that it wasn't fair that I got all this room to myself. One tried sitting in my chair even after telling her it was only for me. I settled that immediately. It's mine. After a few races where I demolished them, I said it was time for them to return upstairs. They said no. I called my mom to get them. Over the next week, my mom started hinting that maybe my living room should be a common area. I said no. She started insisting. I said no. She has a key to my door. I never lock my door unless she had guests. I did start locking it when Dan and his kids moved in. I came home from school and found the kids in my living room. They'd also gone into my room, and they were eating the snacks that I paid for myself. I yelled and told them to get the heck out. I called for my mom to explain why they were there. She said she decided it wasn't fair that I got almost a third of the house to myself and that my TV and gaming systems should be shared. I said screw that. She got really upset with me and said it was a done deal, so deal with it. My grandfather and my uncles came and got me, and all the things that matter to me, including my recliner. He told my mom that she needed to start paying rent if I wasn't going to be living there. I have a bedroom at my grandparents' house but miss my area. My mom is trying to get me to go back so they can save money to get their own place. Yeah, right, I'm not that dumb. She said that I needed to stop being a brat and behave like an adult. I said I lived like an adult until you let those kids into my area without permission. She tried to say she could do whatever she wanted in her house. Sometimes I think she forgets it wasn't my dad's house and she didn't inherit it. I feel a little guilty because my mom is pretty cool and I hate that this is straining her relationship. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. She forgot that it wasn't her house. I'm glad you're standing firm because your mother has no right to your living area, things, snacks, etc. They were provided to you by your grandparents, not by her. Unfortunately, as you found out, some people can't be reasoned with. You'll probably find yourself going low contact when you're an adult. That's okay. You can love her from a distance and not become the person who supplies the deficits in her life. She's an adult. She should pay her own way, not steal from her daughter. Your mom is entitled. She messed around and found out. Your mom wanted you to share. Now it's a shared space. She got what she wanted. Unfortunately, it wasn't the way she wanted. She decided these people who moved in were more important than your long-term living situation. She could have shut it down but chose not to. The question is she more unhappy you're not living there, or more unhappy that she must pay rent? I have to wonder if Mom has told her boyfriend that the house is hers and he thinks she owns it. Then she acts like she owns it to save face so that he doesn't know she's lying, and then the grandparents help her daughter escape and Mom and boyfriend are suddenly stuck paying rent. 2 working adults should be able to afford rent. I wonder if Mom's boyfriend isn't with her just for a free place to live. Mini update. I have something to add after talking to my grandparents. They were not happy about her moving her boyfriend and his kids in. They were going to allow it since I still lived there, but coming into my space and my mom saying I had to share it did not go over well with them. That's why they wanted to start charging her rent, especially after I move out. I, 25 female, have been married to my husband for 2 years. We recently got our first home and are officially homeowners, so a few weeks ago we decided to throw a big party with family and friends. We did have a bunch of alcoholic drinks and mixed drinks, but I had them separated because my sister-in-law is pregnant. My sister-in-law has had 4 losses in the past. It's heart-wrenching and I feel horrible for her. I've always been supportive. She has a form of PCOS. Anyway, at the party I told sister-in-law that the non-alcoholic drinks were in the indoor fridge and to feel free to make herself virgin drinks if she liked. I had mixed drinks on the table outside and in the outside cooler. Long story short, my sister-in-law ended up getting trashed and a week later lost her pregnancy. She's been blaming my husband and I since early January for this, sending us hateful messages, spamming my phone, saying one of us must have mixed up the drinks, which didn't happen. When it first occurred, I told her I was so sorry, but it wasn't our fault we had another guest drinking, and I made her aware of where the other drinks were. 2 days ago, she tried pulling that stuff again when we ran into her while at my mother-in-law's, and again said it and followed me through the house arguing with me. I finally blew and said you're the stupid one for A, not listening when I told you where the non-alcoholic drinks are, B, for continuing to drink because she had to have realised she was getting intoxicated, and C, this isn't our fault because you're already prone to a loss due to your conditions. She broke down in tears, crying and wailing, saying I wasn't sensitive, I was a horrible person. My mother-in-law asked us to leave. My husband and I feel bad for her situation, of course, but she's been harassing us for weeks. Sister-in-law texted me off brother-in-law's number because we blocked her, saying how she couldn't believe I was calling her stupid when her misfortune happened due to my party, how I needed to apologise, and how I've never been pregnant so I'll never understand, and how alcohol feels different during pregnancy, how I was uneducated. Mother-in-law is backing her up. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Your sister is unhappy and sensitive about her loss. I understand why she's feeling sad, moody, and possibly depressed. But that doesn't give her the right to go crazy on you. It sounds like you bent over backward to help. You kept separate drinks for her. You apologized. You apologized again. And she just wouldn't let up. It's perfectly reasonable for you to snap back when someone keeps picking with no justification. I'm sorry, but this is tickling my conspiracy bone. Are you sure she was actually pregnant? I've known a lot of people who have struggled with fertility issues, and if they were 3 months pregnant and prone to a loss, they would have read the label 5 times and probably played it safe by just drinking water. I do not drink any alcohol, and I've never once ended up accidentally intoxicated. It's pretty evident on the first sip or two if a drink is something other than what I intended. Presuming brother-in-law and mother-in-law were at the party, why did neither of them notice she was getting tipsy and cut her off? I don't see how, as a host, you are somehow responsible for other people's actions or failure to act. Here is a slight twist on your theory. She probably lost her pregnancy before the party, drank away her sorrows, and now, for some reason, has made it her mission to take out her anger on OP, to have some excuse for an outlet for all the pain she's feeling. At 3 months pregnant, it would be odd for her not to notice how different drinks taste. I know not all pregnancies are the same. For me and the women I have in my life, we became more aware of our taste buds during pregnancy, like the pregnancy nose is wild. I could smell my husband's deodorant before he entered the room. My sister is a single mom to a tween, Joelle. My wife, son, preschooler, and I are staying with her temporarily while we get some repairs done to our house after a flood. We've seen their daily routine over the past few days and it's a bit ridiculous. My sister gets up at 6 every morning, cleans Joelle's room, lays out her school uniform, makes her lunch, packs her backpack, wakes Joelle up, then makes her breakfast while Joelle takes a shower and gets dressed. She walks Joelle to school, then gets back and starts working. A snack awaits Joelle when they get home, and Joelle does her homework at the table next to my sister while she works. Joelle plays while my sister cooks, they eat together. Joelle plays again while my sister cleans, then my sister gets Joelle ready for bed. Then my sister gets the rest of the chores done. I told her that spoiling Joelle like this isn't helping anyone. It's crazy that Joelle doesn't clean her room, do her laundry, or even pack her backpack. My preschooler gets himself ready for daycare with less parent involvement than Joelle needs daily. My sister got defensive and is acting like we're bad parents for not doing this with my son. Now she says this isn't working and wants us to get into a hotel by the end of the week. My wife thinks I should have kept my mouth shut. But this girl will be going to middle school next year and can't pack her backpack. Am I the idiot for telling my sister she shouldn't be spoiling her kid like this? OMG, she feeds her child. How dare she make her kid a snack? You are the idiot. You're a guest in your sister's home and go and criticize her parenting. Your complaints are BS. Why are you upset the kid is playing while her mom cooks? What do you want her to do, cook her own dinner? Complaining she does her homework next to her mom? She's a young tween. You want the kid to do her own laundry? I fear to find out how you treat your own son. I disagree. At her age, it's totally age-appropriate to help cook dinner, or even cook a simple dinner by herself, and do laundry. My aunt is precisely like OP's sister, raising her daughter exactly like how OP's sister is too. Today, at age 16, my cousin, my aunt's daughter, is an extremely sheltered, entitled little brat, a baby, always a victim young woman. We often told my aunt that her parenting style was not good for her daughter in the long run. She doesn't listen. OP isn't wrong in thinking what his sister is doing is wrong in the long run, but he says it when he is a guest. That's not cool. Guest or not, you just need to mind your business. You don't have a say in how your sibling raises their children. Period. Not your child, not your business. Repeat after me in case you don't understand. It doesn't matter whether OP has a point or not. The real issue is that it's none of his business or place to make comments. Shut up and stay in your lane. This happened last weekend, on the anniversary of my 28 male wife's 29 parents. It was a huge party to which everyone was invited. Quick background, my wife's family consists of her parents, a brother who is exactly my age, 28 and unmarried, and a little sister who is in university. Quite a well-to-do family. My family consists of only me and my mother, 48. Mom got divorced from my abusive dad when I was 7 and never remarried. Anyways, during the party, my wife quietly told me that she was 100% sure that my mom was having physical relationships with her brother. Told me they both just disappeared from the party. I was like shocked, honestly. She immediately said she'd been eyeing and observing my mom for a while. She didn't tell me earlier because she was making sure. Before I said anything, my wife ran upstairs, the party was downstairs in the hall, and forced her brother's bedroom open, shouting loudly. I followed her along with a few other people from the party. It was embarrassing as heck. I melted in shame. My mom was there with Ben, wife's brother, pretty intoxicated. They were making out when my wife caught them. Ben immediately ran towards the bathroom to put on his trousers, but my mom wasn't able to fix her clothes. I immediately covered her with my blazer. My wife didn't like that. Within seconds, the situation escalated and my wife's parents started insulting my mom, calling her names, blaming her for luring their son and having dirty relationships with him. Ben locked himself in the bathroom the entire time. No one blamed him. Everyone just blamed my mom. My wife's mom literally shamed my mom, saying, "Women like her, middle-aged, divorced, are the worst." I somehow handled the situation and took mom to her apartment. They're both consenting adults and can do what they want. Your wife is quite judgmental. You are not the idiot. I think everyone's the idiot here. Your wife running in and screaming like someone was committing murder is a bit crazy. There was no reason for her to invade their privacy or get mad. He's old enough and there was no cheating. Period. But your mom and your brother-in-law hooking up like teenagers in a family gathering was also completely unnecessary. How very classy of them. Is no one going to mention that Brother Ben ran and locked himself in the bathroom and just left Mom there to take all the heat by herself? He's a big, if not a bigger idiot than anyone else. The ridiculous sister should have tended to her own knitting and someone should have pulled the idiot brother out of hiding. Of course he got no blame when they had her to direct all their anger. Just tell your wife that, like they don't blame her brother, you don't blame your mom and you're not kicking her out. Pretty simple. Update. I talked to my wife about what's happening and she told me Ben is literally in the heat of his parents because they aren't supporting his relationship. He wants to leave his house and move into my mom's apartment. I have yet to talk to my mom, but Ben's saying my mom's also supporting him. It's all so messed up now. My husband, 42, and I, 41 female, tried to have children for 13 years before we accepted that we would never have it happen for us. We spent much time hoping and trying different things and nothing worked. I was 35 when we decided to come to terms with our life as a child-free couple. We sold our old house, downsizing considerably, and we started changing how we lived our lives. We had devoted so much time to preparing to be a family with children that we didn't really know what we wanted now that it was no longer in the cards. Then, just after my 40th birthday, I discovered I was pregnant. It was a huge shock, and even more surprising was that the baby was healthy when I went for my first scan. But I was afraid, we both were, so we waited until I was 18 weeks on to tell people. I didn't show until about 28 weeks, so that made it easy to hide. We announced and people were thrilled for us. All our siblings already had children who were 9 and older, so this was the first baby born into the family in a while. We were asked whether we would have a name reveal or a baby shower with a name reveal. We decided to keep the name to ourselves until he was born, something special and a surprise for people. Most people understood, but it came to our attention recently that one of my husband's sisters, sister-in-law, wasn't happy about any of this. She didn't like that we kept the pregnancy to ourselves for a while and disliked it even more that we didn't share the name. She brought this up at Christmas for the first time and surprised the whole family. She brought it up to my husband 3 separate occasions after it, and then she brought it up to me 4 days ago. She told me we left our families out when this was just as big a deal for them as it was for us. She said everyone had wanted us to have a baby too, and how could we cut them out like that? She also claimed we could have gotten feedback and blessings from family members on his name, which is Hawthorne for people who will ask. I told her that the news came as a surprise, and we worried and wanted to come to terms and get to what we felt was safe before telling people. She argued we needed our family if something went wrong. Then she said there was still no excuse for the name. The name was kind of odd, and she would have liked us to pick a more classic name, like James or George. I told her I understood that everyone had their own taste, but we were getting one chance to name a child and one opportunity to experience parenthood, and we wanted to make the most of it. I said we never did it to hurt anyone, but we wanted to do what felt right to us. She told me that was what my husband said, and it was lame, especially to defend myself that way when it was something that the whole family was experiencing. She told me we just wanted to leave everyone out and that we should have known better. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Your sister-in-law is a giant idiot. While it's great for your family that you got pregnant, it is in no way happening to them. This is your experience, and after years of trying, everything you did was completely understandable. Your sister-in-law is a control freak who seems to think her opinion is the only right one. No decent person would ever comment negatively on someone's child's name. I love the name, by the way. Congratulations on your son. Honestly, it seems like your sister-in-law is annoyed she couldn't insert herself into your pregnancy and make it about her. Your reasons are understandable. Honestly, it's your child, not hers. She's making your pregnancy and your child about her and how hurt she is. I'd bet good money if you looked, this wouldn't be the only occasion she's been like this. Sister-in-law has main character syndrome, and it's not your problem, nor are you obligated to indulge her. Just enjoy being a mum.